Hi, first graders. I'm Miss Willard and I'll be your virtual teacher for today. After we do a little bit of review, we're going to learn some more about the Bossy R and what it does when it gets next to E's and I's and U's. I'm excited to work with you. Here we go. Get ready for our daily review. We have a lot of high frequency words to review today, but they were all in your decodable book last week. Look at this one. Do you remember it? This is the word again. Read the word with me. Again. Now read it to somebody in the room with you. Good job. This word plays fair, so even if you don't remember it, you could sound it out. This word is just. Read it with me. Just. Now read it to somebody in the room with you. This high frequency word is the word bye. It's the bye, like when you say goodbye. What's the word? Bye. Read it with me. Bye. Now read the word to somebody in the room with you. Good job. This high frequency word is one of the Bossy R sounds we learned last week. It's the word or. What's the word? Or. Read it back to me. Or. This high frequency word does not play fair. We can't sound it out, so we have to memorize it. Do you remember it? It's the word could. Say it with me. Could. Now read the word to me. Read the word could to somebody in the room with you. Do you remember this one? This is the word does. Read it with me. Does. Read the word to somebody in the room with you. Does. This high frequency word has a spelling pattern that we don't see very often. K and N together say n. The K doesn't make its own sound. It says n with the N. So this word is new, like I knew it. Read the word to me. New. Read the word with me now. New. This is another high frequency word that we can't really sound out. But do you see how the end looks the same as a word we had just a few words ago? This is the word would, like would you like a glass of water? Would. Read the word to me. Would. Now read the word to somebody in the room with you. Would. Last week we learned about the Bossy R. Let's review the two sounds we learned last week. Do you remember this one? What does the Bossy R do when it's next to an A? It changes the sound and it says R. Say the sound with me. R, like art. R. Say the sound to me again. Good job. Now the Bossy R is making a new sound with the letter O. It's also one of our high frequency words. What's the sound? Or, like orange. Say the sound with me. Or. Now say the sound to somebody in the room with you, or just say it back to me. Or. For the last part of our review, let's read some words that use the sounds that we learned last week with the Bossy R. I've underlined them in the words so you can see it. Let's read this one. Park. Park. The word is park. Your turn now. Tap it with me. Park. Park. The word is park. Wouldn't you love to go to the park today? Take a look at this word. Do you see how it has that O-R in the middle? It begins with a TH. Get ready. Or, thorn. What's the word? Thorn, like, oh, that's a sharp thorn. Your turn, read the word. Good job. This word has an AR in the middle. Do you remember the sound? Let's read it. SH says sh, r, p. Let's blend that together. Sharp. What's the word? Sharp, like an eagle has sharp talons. What's the word? Sharp. Let's do just one more. Take a look first at that bossy R sound. You have it in your mind? Let's read it. Storm, storm, storm. The word is storm, like there was lightning during the storm. Your turn. Tap it out. Storm. Blend it now. Storm, storm. As we get into the main part of our lesson, I want to talk about our targets. Here's what we'll be doing today. The first one says, I can identify how the bossy R changes the vowel sound in the word. So we're going to be listening to some words and listening to the vowel sound to figure out what the bossy R is doing. The second one says, I can read words with a bossy R sound spelled ER, IR, and UR. So we'll be reading a lot of words and learning about those three spellings. Let's get started by listening for the middle sounds in some words that have a bossy R. You ready? The first word is term. If you don't know the middle sound, you can always tap it out. M. The middle sound is in term. What about this word? Curb, like the curb is next to the street. What's the middle sound in curb? Herb. That middle sound is also. Let's do one more. The picture might give you a clue. It's the word bird. Tap out the word bird. Bird. Is in the middle again. All three of those words, term, curb, and bird, have in the middle. Do you think they're spelled the same way? They all say Let's look. Term, I see an ER. That's a bossy R. Wait a minute. Curb has a UR. The bossy R is next to a U, but it still says Let's look. Bird has an IR. They all sound like but they look different. Let's try that again with a few more words to see if the same thing happens. The first word is perk. Let's find the middle sound. Perk. I hear the The second word has a clue in the picture. Can you guess what it is? Church. Ch. I hear that there too. The last one is whirl, like I whirl around. Whirl. That has the too. Do you think they're going to be spelled the same way? They weren't last time. Let's look. How is spelled in this word? With an ER. That's perk. Here we have the word church. Yep, that's a UR that time. And in the word whirl, we've got the WH to say w, and then IR to say In these bossy R words, ER, IR, and UR are kind of like triplets. They sound the same, but they don't look the same. The sound can be spelled 3 different ways. 3 different spellings can say If I had to sort out those words, I'd do it this way. Term has spelled with ER. Bird has spelled with IR. Curb has spelled with UR. They all have but it's spelled differently each time. Let's do the other ones. Whirl has spelled with IR. Perk had spelled with ER. What about church? It had spelled with UR. In your assignment a little later today, you're going to sort some words out this way too. They will all have the sound, but it can be spelled 3 different ways. I have a little story to share with you that might help you remember how the sound has 3 different spellings. This is called the Bossy R triplets story. Follow along if you want to. There once were 3 cats that lived in a house. Whenever they roamed the neighborhood, you could hear them. The problem was they all sounded the same. Their names were Kirk, Arthur, and Grover. If you heard them and didn't see them, you could never tell them apart. People thought they were the same cat until one day they got caught up in a tree. Up close, they looked completely different. Kirk was covered in dirt. Arthur had thick, luxurious fur. Grover had an orange and white striped pattern. After this day, they were known as the Bossy R triplets. We knew they sounded the same, but they didn't actually look the same. When you think about ER, IR, and UR, you can think about this story. The 3 cats sounded exactly the same, just like ER, IR, and UR sound exactly the same. But when people finally looked at them, they saw that they looked very different. Just like ER, IR, and UR look different because they have different vowels. ER, IR, and UR are triplets because they sound the same, even though they look different. Let's get started with the exciting part now. We're going to read a chain of words that have the sound in it. You'll see that the sound will be spelled differently, but it's always going to say Let's get started. Here's the first word. I see a consonant blend at the beginning, st, and then we have stern, stern, like someone who is stern is very serious. Now we're going to make some changes. Look at that word. The ending of the word stayed the same. Look, ERN. ER says but if it starts with an F, what's the word? Fern. Fern. A fern is a plant. Let's change the word again. What stayed the same? Only the ER stayed the same. What does ER say? Now, this G is going to say J because there's an E after it. When there's an E after a G, it says J. So we've got J, germ. Wash your hands to get rid of the germs. Let's see what's going to change in the next word. Oh, now look, it has an IR in the middle now. But if you remember from that Bossy R triplet story, it looks different, but it sounds the same. I still have the G at the beginning, but since there's not an E after the G anymore, the G is going to say its normal sound. G, l, girl. Okay, what stayed the same? IR stayed the same, but it looks like the beginning and the end changed. Thirst. Thirst. Like I have a thirst for some water. That's a way of saying I am thirsty. Let's do another word and see what changes and what stays the same. The IR stayed the same. What does IR say? But it looks like the beginning is different and the end. Let's tap it out. Earth, birth. Birth means when you were born. You celebrate your birthday on the day you were born. Let's do another one. Do you see that? What do we have in the middle now? We have a UR. But remember those Bossy triplets? It's going to sound the same. It's going to say Look, the B is also the same. Burn. Don't get too close to the fire. It could burn you. Okay. What stayed the same? UR is the same. But there's no ending and the beginning is different. What's the word? Fur. My dog is covered with fur. Let's do one more word. What do you see that's the same? We see UR still there, but it begins with an H. Hurl. To hurl something means to throw it really hard. Hurl. Let's read this list of words. Read it with me. Stern, fern, germ, girl, thirst, birth, burn, fur, hurl. All of those words have the sound, but it's spelled 3 different ways. Good job.
It's time to go to work. It's time to go to work.
It's time to practice what we learned. It's time to go to work.
Now I'm going to show you what you're going to do in your packet today. So if you don't have it with you right now, it would be a good time to pause the video and go get it. For our activity today, you're going to need lesson 26 in your distance learning packet. It's actually 2 pages. The first page looks like this. It has a chart where you can sort words by whether the sound is spelled with an ER, an IR, or a UR. And then the words themselves, they're on another page. So what the directions say is that you're going to read each word, and then you're going to cut and paste or write the words under the correct Bossy R column. So if you have scissors and glue, you can cut them out and glue them down, but it's also okay just to use a pencil to write them down. Let's do a few together. Let's look at this one first. Take a look at this word. The directions said that the first thing we needed to do was to read it. So, st. And then I see ER says st, stern. That's one of the words we had earlier. Where would I sort that? Do you see the ER? We would put it over there in the ER column because the sound is spelled with an ER. Let's do the next one. Why don't we do the one underneath it? This one right there. Let's read it first. Oh, look. Thirst. We had that word too. Where will we sort it? We're going to put that one under the IR because the sound is spelled with an IR. Let's do the next one underneath. This one right here. What do you notice? Do you see the spelling of the sound in the middle? I can see that it's a UR, but I still want to read the word. Hurl. That's that word that meant to throw something really hard. We saw that UR. we would put that word under the UR because the sound is spelled with a UR. We're going to do just one more together. Do you see it? Let's read it. Perk. Perk. And if you look in the middle, how do we spell the sound in that word? With an ER. So we'll put it there under the ER. The sound can be spelled 3 different ways, and your job today is to read all of those words and sort it out by whether the sound is spelled with an ER, an IR, or a UR. Good luck and have fun. As we wrap up today, let's take some time to reflect. To reflect means to think about what we've just done. And so I want to ask you, what did you do today to become a better reader? Think about it for a minute. Whisper it to me. Today, we learned that the sound is a bossy R sound that can be spelled 3 different ways, even though they all sound the same. Great job today. Thank you for learning with me today. I look forward to teaching you again soon. Just a reminder, there are some things you can do every day that will help you keep learning and to make sure you're ready for the 2nd grade. If you need to practice your letters and sounds, you can watch the alphabet chant video. Always read the Decodable Reader for the week, every day. It'll give you a chance to practice our sound patterns and our spelling patterns. Practice your high-frequency words. Remember to choose just a few a week to work on until you have them memorized. You can read for 20 minutes and complete a reading log entry, and practice your handwriting by writing letters, high-frequency words, some of the words we've been learning in our lesson, as well as sentences. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.